embarrassed my stepmom at dinner after she tried to teach me a lesson about my real mom. So my stepmom Karen thinks she's some kind of parenting genius. She married my dad when I was 12 and immediately decided she knew everything about raising kids. My real mom died when I was 8, and Karen acts like that gives her permission to say whatever she wants about her. Last Friday, my dad was working late, so it was just me, Karen, and my little stepsister Emma at dinner. We were eating these sad frozen chicken nuggets because Karen can't cook to save her life, and out of nowhere she starts going off about how I need to move on from my mom. She literally said, "Your mother has been gone for 5 years now. It's time to stop using her as an excuse for your attitude." I was just sitting there eating my nuggets, minding my own business, when she dropped that bomb. Then she goes, "You know, if your real mom was such a great parent, maybe she would have taught you better manners." Emma was just sitting there staring at her food, clearly uncomfortable as hell. I asked what she meant by that, trying to stay calm. Karen smirked and said, "Well, a good mother would have made sure her daughter knew how to be respectful to the woman who stepped up to raise her." That's when I completely lost it, but instead of screaming or crying like she probably expected, I smiled real sweet and said, "You're absolutely right, Karen. My mom did teach me manners. She taught me to always tell the truth." Karen looked confused, so I kept going. Like how she taught me that real moms don't steal money from their stepdaughter's college fund to buy designer purses. Karen's face went white as a sheet. And real moms don't tell their husband that his dead wife was probably a bad mother just because they're jealous of a woman who's been dead for 5 years. Emma's mouth was hanging open at this point. Oh, and my mom definitely would have taught me that good stepmoms don't call their stepdaughters fat behind their dad's back. I pulled out my phone and started scrolling. Actually, I have some great voice recordings of you doing exactly that. Want me to play them for dad when he gets home? Karen started stuttering, trying to backtrack, but I wasn't done. My mom also taught me that women who really love their families don't cheat on their husbands with their personal trainers. The color completely drained from her face. "What are you talking about?" she whispered. I shrugged and took another bite of my chicken nuggets. "Oh, I saw you making out with Brad in the gym parking lot last week." My mom taught me to pay attention to details like that. Karen jumped up from the table so fast she knocked over her chair. "You little liar! You can't prove any of that!" I just smiled and said, "My mom taught me something else too. She taught me that the truth always comes out eventually, especially when dad gets home and we have our little family meeting." Emma was staring at both of us like we were crazy. Karen was practically shaking, trying to figure out if I was bluffing or not. The best part was, I wasn't bluffing about any of it. She stormed out of the dining room and slammed her bedroom door. Emma looked at me and whispered, "Is all that stuff true?" I nodded and she said, "Holy crap, my mom is screwed." When dad got home an hour later, Karen was locked in their room with a headache. I showed him the recordings and told him about the trainer. He just sat there for the longest time not saying anything. The next morning, Karen was suddenly super nice to me, making my favorite breakfast and asking about school. But it was too late. Dad had already called a lawyer. She moved out last week, and honestly, the house feels so much lighter without her negative energy everywhere.